So, you were considering starting playing miniature tabletop wargaming, but your friends told you that it's too expensive, it is too complex, there's too many rules to learn, and it requires too much of your time. Well, I disagree with all of that. Let me show you why. This is an arena that I've prepared to teach people how to play the 9th Age. Now, we can start with a simple story. You are Kamoko, this orc that you see here, and you want to prove your worth to all your tribe by going into the arena and defeating mighty gladiator opponents. Now, in order to get there, you have to pass through this entire area down here, which is full of elven guards. And as you walk, well, as you dash and fight your way through this area to get into the arena, you will be learning the rules to the game. Let's move to scenario number 1. In scenario number 1, you have Kamoko, the orc, facing an elven guard, and you have a card for the orc, a card for the elf, and a card for the scenario. In this scenario, you learn how to shoot. So if we go to Kamoko's card and we press Alt on the keyboard, you can see that in the shooting paragraph, Kamoko has one shot and it has to roll a yellow die and a green die. So I have a yellow die and a green die right here. So let's box select them, press R and see what happens. I have the 2 symbols on top of the die, so these are 2 successes, and that means that the elf guard is dead. Yeah? It's that easy. The card tells you what it is that you have to roll. You need yellow and green for the orc, and you need, in case the elf has to shoot, blue, orange and green, but you can try twice because the elf has 2 shots. So you collect the dice, you roll the dice. For example, this is the elf trying to shoot the orc, fail, but since the elf has 2 shots, you can try once again and fail again, because dice are dice. But as we've seen before, the orc has managed to shoot down the elf in the first scenario, so we can go to scenario number 2. This is shooting. Let's have a look at charging. Now here, for charging, you have a new card. We still have the cards for the elf and the orc. You simply press 2 or 3 on your keyboards and it will show the relative cards. Now, how does the charging work? Let me activate the warriors here as well. Charging works with the value of your charge, which is here 4 inches, plus 2 regular 6-sided dice. You roll 2 dice, you add your charge value, and you see whether it is enough to cover the distance between you and your opponent. So let's see what Kamorko manages to do. Kamorko has 4 inches plus 2 regular dice. Let's roll that. I make 4 plus 2, 6, plus 4, which is Kamorko's charging movement, as you see here, 10. Now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's not enough. The distance is indeed 15 inches. So that means that the charging attempt by Kamoko has failed. And when the result is lower than the distance between warriors, the charging attempt fails. Move the charging warrior forward by a number of inches equal to the higher die you just rolled. So I rolled a 4 and a 2. 4 is the higher die, so I take Kamorko and I go 1, 2, 3 and 4 and put it here. Right? Same thing from the elf side, but now the distance is not 15 anymore, it's just 11 because the orc advanced by 4. Now, what is the charge movement for the elf? It's 5 inches plus the 2 dice. So let's roll the 2 dice. I make a 1 and a 3 equals 4 plus movement 5 for the elf. It means 9. And as we said, we added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So this is another failed charge attempt. And as we've seen before, if the charge attempt fails, you only move forward of the higher dice that you rolled. In this case, we have a 3 and a 1, the higher dice is a 3. I take the elf and I do 1 and 2 and 3. And this is where the elf is. Back to the orc. We have 4 inches plus 2 regular 6-sided dice. Now the distance is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. My movement is already 4, so I only need to roll at least a 4 here, plus my 4 would be the 8 that I need to cover. Let's box select the dice, press R, come on, bam, 11. Kamorko is really on fire on this one. 6 plus 5, 11, plus 4, 15. Kamorko only needs to cover 9 inches, so that means that they are finally in combat. So we've seen the shooting, we've seen the charging. Let's have a look now at combat. Scenario number 3. In this scenario number 3, the elf and the orc are already engaged in combat here, so ready to fight each other. And the way this works is that you determine which warrior will attack first. And you have this information in the fighting box. Kamoko attacks last, and Chiro attacks first. So let's roll for the elf. We'll have to roll a green die and an orange die. And if we get the symbols on both of them, then it means that the elf has killed the orc. Let's roll, see what happens. Symbol, not symbol. So the orc is still alive. Now, what does the orc need to kill the elf? Yellow, green, and blue die. And I can repeat this twice because I have 2 attacks. So if the first fails, I can re-roll all 3 dice once more. Let's see what happens. Yellow, green, and blue. Looking for 3 symbols. I only have 2, so this one is a fail. But I can attack once more because I have 2 attacks. Let's see. Yes! And the elf is killed again. So far we've seen Kamorko kill the first elf with shooting, completing a charge in the second scenario, and then killing the other elf off in the third scenario. Enough for this video. We will keep scenario number 4, the one about movement, for a later video. See you next time.